What is up, you guys? Brooke here. So we are coming near the end of 2019 here, and that means it's time to start reviewing the end of the year stuff. But before I start reviewing like how I felt my writing type of stuff went this year, I kind of wanted to review other things that happened to me this year and also like previous years before this year. I want to review what all embarrassing things have happened to me here on AuthorTube. Whether that be on the camera or off the camera, I'm wanting to talk about some embarrassing things that I have done because I find some of the stuff that I have been through kind of amusing enough to talk about here with you guys because I like to be open with you all. I like to talk about my experiences with writing, and why not talk about my experiences of humiliating myself? Okay, so let's start the embarrassment now. This one happened on the first Wander Writers Retreat. Maybe some of you all know this story, but in case you don't, here's what happened. The Wander Writers Retreat took place in Minneapolis during August of 2018. I think we had 3 hotel rooms and there was maybe like maximum 4 girls in each room or so. I was rooming with a couple girls, Carrie Weeks, Alex from Patchwork Nerd, and Mandy Lynn. Now, Mandy and I were sharing the same bed, and the very last night of our retreat, for some reason, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I, for some reason, forgot that I was sharing a bed with someone because, I mean, I live alone, so I sleep alone, and it's completely dark in the room, and I noticed that someone was sharing the same bed as I was. And all I knew was that someone was in bed with me, and it freaked me the hell out. So what did I do? I got out of bed, stood up by the bed, turned on the light, and I woke Mandy up, and she like sits up and is like squinting her eyes at me, and I scream bloody murder. I screamed pretty much almost in her face. I just stared at her and screamed. I screamed so loud, and I woke up Carrie. I think Alex from Patchwork Nerd wasn't there that night, but I woke up Carrie, and Mandy was just like so confused and like in utter shock. And whenever I realized what had happened, I was just like, oh. And then I like went back into bed, and I was like going, just go back to sleep, Brooke. This is horrifying. And luckily Mandy and Carrie were gracious enough to just laugh at me. Instead of just be totally freaked out and weirded out by me, they just laughed at me. And you best believe that everyone on the retreat the next day knew what happened and knew that I screamed in Mandy's face. Another embarrassing AuthorTuber story that happened to me happened off camera. This is not to where people knew about this, besides the people that it included. So I think this was the springtime of 2018, and my channel was still relatively fresh. I had been on AuthorTube under a year, so I was still getting the hang of things and was still getting to know the people in the community and everything. So to start off this story, I have to explain that there was this one day I was going out with a bunch of my girlfriends, my friends who live in my town of where I live, and we were going out to this country type bar. And before we went out to the bar, of course, I have to leave my apartment, and so I go down to the parking lot, and as I'm going down to the parking lot, I see this douchebag truck that's parked horribly, and I always take pictures of cars that are parked horribly because it makes me feel better to, like, you know, share off how douchey they were. So I take a picture of this truck that had like double parked, like really obviously in the parking lot, and I almost shared it on my Insta stories, and I for some reason didn't. I think I was like in a hurry to like meet up with my friends or something, but I did have my phone in my pocket, my back pocket of my jeans, whenever I went to this country bar. And at the country bar, I'm dancing, I'm two-stepping. We were dancing at the country bar. And so the next day, I have someone on Instagram, I forgot who it was. I had someone who I had been relatively talking to here and there on Instagram and DMs who said, what was up with that message you sent me? She had messaged me asking what was up with the video that I had sent. and I was confused as to what she meant by video. So I tried looking at the video that I had apparently sent her that I did not realize I had sent her, and I couldn't see what the video said or entailed. And so I asked her what it was, and she said it wasn't anything, but it was loud music. And so I was like, that's weird. I was like, oh, maybe it was because it was the music from the bar last night or something. I don't know. So I was like, oh, that's weird that I had sent that to her. And then I checked to see if I had somehow sent other things to people, because I thought, well, that's random. I sent that to her. Maybe I sent other things to other people. And I had sent that same video footage, or not footage, but it was like a video that only had audio. I had sent that to Kristen Martin, and I had sent that to another friend of mine. And then I also sent Kristen Martin photos, but I couldn't see what the photos were. And so I'm like, what were these pictures? And so I was so confused of what I had sent Kristen, and I started to investigate other people who were in my DMs, and I found Kim Chance that I had also sent her stuff, and I was actually able to see the pictures that I had sent Kim. And remember that truck I had taken a picture of earlier? Yeah, I sent her the picture of the truck, but it got weird. So here's what I think happened. I still had that picture of the truck I had taken out in the parking lot. And I had that up on my phone, and I had my phone in my back pocket. And so I'm dancing, and I'm wondering if my butt did something with the keyboard or something, because it went weird. Can you see this? It looks like I'm sending some sort of hate mail to Kim. Like, what just happened here? I have angry, pissed off looking emojis and some weird wordage behind the emojis, and you can't even see the truck that I was trying to show off to people. And I also apparently sent her another picture. This has more emojis that are angry. Everything looks like I'm pissed off at the world. I have words, I have letters, and all sorts of places that are covering up the stupid truck I had taken a picture of in the first place. This looks like it was sent from a crazy person. All of this looks insane, or that I have some weird hate for Kim or something. It was so odd. And so when I saw I had sent that to Kim, I immediately was like, Kim, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I think I pocket pictured you or something. I don't know. But it was so humiliating. Luckily, she took it with grace and wasn't maybe too freaked out about it. I hope she wasn't. But this just looked like I was so agitated at her or something. And so for some reason I was able to see that I had sent those pictures to Kim Chance, and I'm sure that I sent those same pictures to Kristen Martin too. But with Kristen Martin's, for some reason I couldn't see the pictures. And so I had sent the same sort of message to Kristen saying, I'm so sorry, I don't know what happened, why these pictures were sent to you. And I just kind of said the same sort of thing. She didn't respond, so I was hoping that she wasn't weirded out by me with that either. So anyway, what a weird, wacky thing. Anyway, I still am anxious about this, because it's who does this? Now my next story also has to deal with Kristen Martin, and this is whenever I had gone to visit her on her book tour in 2018 of June. This was a week or so before my birthday. It was June 11th. I feel like it was June 11th or something. I live in Oklahoma, I live in Tulsa, and I had driven all the way down to Dallas, which was where one of Kristen's book tour stops was, and I wanted to meet her. She was my very first AuthorTuber that I had met in person, and I will say she was very lovely to meet in person, very, very nice, and so I was very happy with the experience of meeting her and a few other people that I feel like I still will see occasionally here on social media, whether that be on Instagram or on my live streams. Wendy Scribbles and Melanie Clark. I believe those girls were the ones I had met there. So anyway, I was so psyched to meet people in this community, and it was so awesome. But whenever I was driving home, and I was driving home at midnight, and there was this town called Savannah, Oklahoma, and all over the highways, the speed limit was changing from 70 to 55, 65 to 55, something like that. It just kept changing over and over and over. So you really had to be paying attention to the speed limit so that way you're not going over the speed limit. And the moment I am fiddling around with my GPS because I knew my next turn to get on the next highway was coming up, and I was trying to see of where I needed to go next. And as I was playing with my GPS, I get pulled over by a cop. He told me I was going 65 in a 50-mile area, and I had told him, sorry, I guess I didn't see that it had changed again, because that is a speed trap town. I even remember that when he went back to his car with my information, I remember I even got out my phone and I was like shooting the police officer lights that were going, because I was like going, oh, I could put this on my vlog to be funny that I got pulled over. And I was thinking in my head, okay, and if I get fined something that was like maybe 150, I was like, then that'll be a bummer. But I was like, but hey, it'll be good for the vlog, I guess. And then he comes back to the car and he tells me that my tag had expired. And I had not known this. I had recently moved, but I hadn't really kept up with that like I should have or whatever. But anyway, so because my tag was expired, and also because I had gone 65 in a 50-mile area on the highway, I got a whopping huge ticket. Want to guess how much I was fined? It was over 500, it was over 600, and it was definitely close to $800. I forgot the exact amount. I just remembered I was floored. I was so shocked. I've never gotten a ticket like that before. And I've never cried to a cop before, but I bawled my eyes out. Oh, that hurts so bad, because I didn't stay the night in Dallas because I just was like, I can drive back home fine and not have to pay money for a hotel room. And then it cost me so much more. So anyway, I'm still like it's like, the anger is rising inside me still to this day. Even just talking about this, because that just hurts so bad to get fined a ticket so bad. And on top of the ticket that I had gotten, I also had to pay to get my tag renewed, which I also had to pay an extra $100 fee to get the tag renewed. So that was an extra like $165 on top of the ticket I had to pay. So that was a weekend that I had spent close to $1,000. Golly, it hurts so bad, you guys. It hurts so bad. Another embarrassing AuthorTubery thing that happened to me, the first time that Kate and I did our writing and drinking video together, it was in the fall of 2018. Yes, fall of 2018. And we both got wicked drunk during the filming of those videos. So yeah, anytime that we are doing our writing and drinking videos together, we are definitely for real drinking. And so because we had drank so much that first time around, the next day, both Kate and I, and our own areas of the world, we both threw up the next day. We were so sick. It was a really hard hangover the next day. We had drank so much, and that was only because we didn't know what we were doing with those writing and drinking videos yet. And it was a lesson well learned that we couldn't be doing that every single time. So we definitely pulled back on the drinking for the next writing and drinking video, which we did. Kate didn't throw up the next time, but I still did. And I have to say that it wasn't the drinking that made me throw up, it was the smell of the drink that made me throw up. It was horrible. I was sitting here, and after I had taken a drink and I had just smelled the drink and how strong it was, I ran from my chair to the sink, and you could hear me doing that on the video. It was so gross. You guys can't hear it because I did not put that into the final cut of the video I had posted, so you guys will never hear it. God, I sound like a huge lush and like troublemaker in this video here. I promise you I'm a good kid. I really am. Oh God. Okay, and the last embarrassing tidbit of me and AuthorTube stuff is, oh my gosh, I hate this so much. So this story takes place during 2017 NaNoWriMo time. I want to say it was during NaNoWriMo. I was very new to AuthorTube. I had just started up my channel in September time. I was watching a live stream of writing sprints on Ben Sanders' channel, and he was hosting it. And I was very new to live streams, but I loved it. I loved watching people do writing sprints, and I loved participating in the comments and everything. And I had been following Ben Sanders for a little bit of time, and so I was super excited to attend one of his live streams. And oh, Julia from That Bookie was also, I think, co-hosting the live stream as well during this time. And I think this is how it went. This is quite a bit of time ago, so I'm trying to remember this the best I can. On the live stream, during a break in between writing sprints, we were talking about if you were a pantser or a plotter. And at the time, I was a mega pantser. I didn't outline my book. I liked to be a pantsing machine. And I remembered that Ben was talking about how he was a pantser as well. And I was trying to come up with some fun way to like be saying cool things about pantsers. And for some reason, I thought it'd be a good idea to write that pantsers wear the sexiest pants. I was trying to be funny. I really was trying to be funny, and then it came out totally wrong. I was trying to mean that like as in everyone who's a pantser wears sexy pants. I don't know. And I remembered like it was like awkward, I think, whenever they like saw my comment, because someone else in the comments who was a bigger AuthorTuber or booktuber at the time even saw what I had said, and they were like, oh. And as soon as I saw her write, oh, I was like, oh. I was like, no, this is gonna be taken so wrong. I know it is. And it was. Ben was like, oh yeah, I like to wear pants or something. You could tell he felt awkward, and Julia, I think, also didn't really know how to react either. And I was like, no, I wasn't coming on to you, Ben, I promise. I was so freaked out. I think I even like messaged Julia from That Bookie the next day, or that night even, explaining that I was not trying to hit on Ben, that I was just trying to be silly and funny in the comments and stuff. I remembered it took a couple days for Julia to respond to what I had said to her, and during those few days I was like, I am humiliated. This is horrifying. I can't show my face in this community again. And luckily Julia did kind of like comfort me a little bit about it. She was just like, girl, you are fine. She said that she cracked up when she saw my message I sent her. But anyway, oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing. Ben is now married, and so I'm so happy for him, and I hope he realizes now that I was not trying to come on to him on his live stream. So yeah, that was like my most embarrassing stories of AuthorTube right now. That all happened during the 2017, 2018, and 2019 year. So who knows, maybe I'll have lots of more embarrassing stories to tell that happen in 2020. Maybe this will be a tradition of where I go over all of the stupidness that I had done during the year. I don't know. I hope you all liked this video, and if you did, feel free to give me a big thumbs up below. I would really appreciate it. And also feel free to subscribe because I post writing related content every week here. Thank you all so much for stopping by today. May the words be with you, and I will see you next time.